day 78. So yesterday I was saying that I was called to this space, to create space, to let go of everything, as in don't arrange anything, don't do anything apart from look after yourself. Just be, and in this retreat mode, so that there's plenty of space for stuff to come through. And as I said, I did know like the first step what I needed to do that day, which is what I did, right? And when I did that, things became really clear. Like I was expecting, because of that energy that I was in yesterday, I was expecting to like spend a whole week in retreat with very little going on, just meditating. That's not what happened. What happened was, because I said yes to that guidance and I was completely prepared to be in that complete empty space and to do that, what happened was I followed the guidance. So it was to go for a swim, which I did, and then to sign up for this class, which I did, and then I started doing the first lesson of the class, and from that, that first exercise that I did, and I wrote down in my notepad the answers to the questions in that first exercise, straight away it became so clear. It became so clear to me what it was, what I'm being called to do now. And once I did that, then I was had all of these ideas come through, like complete inspiration. And now I feel like I've got so much to do, like so much to do. Because putting together and the creativity that's come through of what I'm going to create requires a lot of work, and so I'm just coming up with all of these ideas and writing it all down. Had a notepad next to my bed last night as well, because when I went to bed, the ideas were still pouring through, so I kept on having to switch the light on, write it down, and try to go back to sleep again. And yeah, so it's like I've been given all of this information, and this is what I'm going to pour my creativity into now, which is great. And I'm not much of a planner. If you've followed all my stuff before, you'll know that I'm not much of a planner. I like to live in the moment and respond to my guidance in the moment. But for the first time, this is going to require planning, because it's huge. It's really, really big. And it's going to take me a while to do it. And I know that I need to commit to like 7 hours work a day, as well as my 2 hours meditation and my hour and a half at the gym. And so it's going to require extreme focus, which I'm totally ready for. I'm absolutely ready for that. Yeah, I feel like I've been wasting my time lately, and this is a welcome change to get back into that creative flow again. It's like something that I've been waiting for a long time. It's like inspiration stopped a couple of years ago when I wrote my last book, and there's really not much come through. It's just been personal stuff, it's just been healing myself and kind of carrying on with what I was doing in my business, but nothing new coming through. And that was totally different, because remember years back when I used to create something new every week, or it seemed, I was just in that creative flow all the time, which was awesome. And so it's great for it to come back in such a, I want to say concrete way, but in a very certain way. And then something different happened yesterday afternoon, different than my old self, yeah? So my old self would... when I was creating these new things, I was doing it all myself, right? I was just like, and not only was I doing it all myself, I was doing it all myself and then lamenting that no one was helping me. So it's like, why don't people support me? Why don't I get help in this? And the reason was I wasn't asking for it. And people said that at the time, and I'm like, I didn't really know what they meant. And I was so I was doing it all myself and then trying to ask for help. For people to market it or whatever, and it was just no. totally different now. So what I did yesterday afternoon is, after all these ideas came through, it's like, wow, well, I'm going to have to plan this out and do it properly because it's huge. And I can't do it by myself because it's huge, and it'll just be a big waste if I do it by myself, because there's things that I don't know. There's a course that I bought 6 months ago, which is part of it, and I need to do that. It's like I've got plenty to do with this. And so the stuff that I'm not good at, which came out in this exercise that I was doing on the course that I started yesterday, I went straight to the experts. So I talked to a couple of people yesterday who are experts in that area. I already knew they were experts in that area, being involved with them before, but yeah, never asked for the help before. And so that was awesome to ask them for help. And so all of them, they said, you know, what I needed to do first, and then get in touch with them, and we'd get on a call, and they'd take me to the next step. And you know, I've realized all those years ago when the only help that I was asking for is like, can you help put me out now I've created all of this stuff. And of course I hadn't been involved with them before, so they're like, don't know your stuff, you know. But all of these people that I talked to yesterday, these experts, when I told them my idea and what I was going to do, they're like, wow, that is going to be awesome. And so of course when I'm involving them and making them a part of it, they're going to want to help me put it out there at the end. And so that's a big change for me. You know, it's like, was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. When I went to the gym, I weighed myself, and it's the first time I'd weighed myself for a couple of weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. And I'd lost 4 kilograms. And it's like when you don't weigh yourself for a while, or I hadn't weighed myself for years before that, but when I've done workout programs before, I've weighed myself too often. You know, when you weigh yourself too often, you kind of feel a little bit good when you've had the losses, but then you feel bad when you have the gains. But even though the trend is downward the whole time, if you'd left it to weigh yourself like a couple of weeks, then you would feel good. And if you keep on doing that and you feel good, it's like in that space, if you give yourself that space, the change is greater. And that's what I feel is like in these last 2 years, it's been all about me, and it's been about my growth, my personal growth, while the business stuff just ticked over in the background. And it was kind of frustrating for me, that in a way, in a business way, because I'm like, I want inspiration, and I want, you know, I want to expand what I'm doing, and I want to grow what I'm doing, I want to help more people. But it wasn't, it was just ticking over and ticking over. And because of that, I was looking at the right things within myself, you know, looking for what it was that I was holding myself back with. And of course I found those things, and I've worked through them, and I'm still working through them too. And so with that 2-year break from the creative stuff, suddenly there's been a big change, you know, like weighing myself, and there's big change, and that feels really good. I hadn't realized how much I'd changed, because I've not tried to do that creative stuff for a couple of years. So that's great. So yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm going to be so focused. I already am so focused on it. I'm getting ideas all the time to put this whole thing together. So what I'm doing at the moment is going to be greatly reduced. What I'm offering, I mean, my services is going to be greatly reduced now. I'm just going to put it down to the bare minimum of the guidance readings, the breakthrough sessions, the biggest block readings, and the energy healings. They're going to be the only thing available. All of my programs and my guided meditations, all of that old material, it's going to stay on my website and available for purchase, but shortly it's going to be completely discontinued. So if you want any of those programs or guided meditations, now there's time to get them, because they're not going to be available anymore. They're not going to be part of the new program, and they're just not going to be available. So the next thing that I'm doing is going to be completely new material, all new, and in a very special and powerful package. So yeah, so if you want those services from me, services as well, once I make these changes, are going to be discontinued. They're only going to be available to a certain few people that get a certain package. And so if you're wanting those readings, I will continue with the weekly readings, and there's going to be some new monthly readings as well. I'm going to continue with those probably for about 12 months from the change, but then all of those are going to be discontinued too. And so if you've been thinking about signing up for them, now's the right time to do that. So I'm having to create as much space as possible for me to be creative and do this new stuff while allowing my old stuff to keep me ticking over and fund what it is that I'm doing. So yeah, if you want any of those old programs and that old stuff, now's the time to get it, because very soon it's going to be discontinued and there's going to be a whole new different thing in its place. So very positive, a very positive day 78.